What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Redbeard's Garage, and today we're going to be finishing up putting the swing arm on the gym car. Now, we started this project last month. We got the swing arm all completely done up. This is a super heavy duty swing arm with a 713cc Duromax. So big shout out to Duromax for sending out the engine, and Go Power Sports for supplying all the stuff like the axle, bearings, brakes, all the good stuff. And we're trying out this reverse gearbox that we found. I think it was on Amazon or something. We're going to see if it can handle this V-twin. Now, it's not rated for this, but the guy that is getting this golf cart done through us is just going to put around with his grandkids. Like, literally, he don't want the governor removed. We're keeping it stock. That's why we did that exhaust to be silent. So we got to use a cherry picker and pick this thing up. I'm really worried about these engine hoist anchor points. Is it going to be strong enough? I don't know. We're going to pick it up a little bit and see if they bend or flex. I have to pick it up, bolt on the wheels and tires, and then we got to pull the golf cart in and disassemble that rear swing arm. So without further ado, let's get this thing chained up and get it moved over to the fab area. It's a wee bit scary. Okay, so they're folding. So if these was a little thicker, it'd be a little better, but we're just gonna get it up in the air enough to clear the table. All right, so I can't figure out how to get this son of a gun off. I think the latch is broken. You're supposed to be able to unlatch it in between the seats and then lean it out and pop it up. I can't get it, so I'm gonna drill out the rivets. It looks like we have 8 rivets in here to pull it off the frame. Then I'll get the frame out. He's gonna reuse this on something else as just a storage box, but it can't go here because of our big beefy 713cc. I'm using the new Hercules brushless drill. I'm seeing we're getting a bunch of Hercules tools in to see if can they really replace Milwaukee. We'll find out. So I do not want to take this spindle apart if I don't have to, because I'm sure it's a pain. So what I may do is cut this shaft, because all we need is this as a bolt. So what I'm going to do is disassemble this CV, clean all the grease out of it so it can be used as a spindle bolt, and it's just set right in there. Very beefy golf cart though. All this is cast steel. This is automotive quality on this. I don't like that it's a McPherson strut, which means single A-arm. So as you squat the suspension, it goes in and out of camber, but it doesn't matter on something like this. Like literally this guy's gonna only ride his kids around, or his grandkids around. So, and then we can take out, it looks like a bunch of 13 mils hold the diff in, and we can take all those out, then just sandwich it all in, and then the diff can slide out this way. I will have to remove the shock. What I'm gonna do is unbolt the bottom of the shock and flip it up, pull this whole section hopefully through here. This diff and motor is heavier than a mother suck. Anybody want an internship? Anybody? Anybody want an internship? Rabbit Garage. That son of a gun got some garf to her. Pro tip, don't get old, players. Just keep on playing at your same age. I'll see what needs to happen. I need to lift this back up, but I can't pry and lift and pull and tuck at the same time, you know? And out of there. I can get to it now. Oh yeah. There's an engine crate. Oh, there's a whole front end cradle. 4 bolts, the whole front end comes off. Okay, so in this front end, there's a differential and electric motor. There's 2 bolts here holding this steel cradle up because this aluminum is welded onto the chassis. There's a bolt down there and a bolt down there, and I'm assuming that I could take these 2 out and pivot it down. Don't seem like there is a lot. I mean, 2 3/8 bolts holding this entire thing up, but it looks like it can pivot down, so that's the next thing we're going to try. Hello! Break back up here. Oh yeah. There's that diff. Differential. Alright, now I'm gonna drop the other jack. And there we go. So looking in here, we have, number one, a ton of room. If you ever wanted to add a winch, that'd be a perfect spot for it. But we also need to replace these boots. They are shot. So hopefully I have some boots on the shelf for this. Most of these wires is gonna go, because I'm sure the main ones go to the rear. There's probably several that go to the rear. I just gotta get in here and see how the wiring is. So we can bolt that bulkhead back up, and then we can disassemble our CV joint. We gotta cut the boot, get in here, pull that. I think there's a clip normally in these, and we can pull this apart, clean out all the grease, and just reuse this whole end, and that's it. All right, so I've already done one side, but this is the CV that we taken off, or cut off. So we gotta remove both clips and pull this boot off. There's gonna be a ton of nasty grease in there. Online, I've seen people just hit it with a hammer, the little gear set up in there, and I tried that and it didn't work too well. There's actually a ball bearing right there. I'm gonna lightly clamp this on the splines. So I did was got my knife under this, bent that up, grab a set of pliers, bam, that's one boot. So what everybody's doing on like ATV ones is they're taking a punch and they're punching the little star-shaped gear in there, and I had no luck whatsoever with this. Oh! I would have hated to try to take that off the proper way. We got to rotate this around and get all the balls out, pull that chunk out, clean it, and it can go back on the golf cart. All right, I got this grease everywhere, but there is the hollowed out CV. Of course, you wouldn't be that aggressive on it if you was trying to keep them or rebuild them, but so now this is our axle stub, and this thing should last a lifetime, honestly, especially the way he's going to treat it. So we can go put this all back together, and our front end is complete. So we have everything tore out of the gym car and down to just bare bones. So there's a fuse box on the front side, and that's what that black harness on the passenger side goes to. And then there's those strip down leads right there. They go to the back for brake lights and stuff. And then we have our main power and ground. So we're going to reuse those orange power and grounds to run to the engine and put the battery back in the front of this just like it was. It was in that little battery tray. We'll reinstall it. So I've done a little bit of trimming to try to fit these wheels. You'll see on that side I've cut out probably a good 1.5 inches of material, and they're still going to hit slightly, so I'll have to figure up something on that and trim it back even more. We've already done this side as well. Now we are ready to take a pause on the front end. All this stuff, I'm going to see if if this is still good, this battery charger, and maybe recoup some of the cost with it, as well as this is like the main controller, it seems like, for the 72 volt system. But all the plastics are there, the rear end's there, the seat, we got the front end. It's a mess in here. So we got to adapt this swing arm to the golf cart. The only thing I'm keeping off this rear section is I'll probably keep those springs. I'll keep the whole brake assemblies. We've used those before. You just unbolt that whole hydraulic drum brake off. Don't know when I'll need it, but I may need it sometime. And of course those tires are brand new, so we'll definitely keep that and throw away the rest of the swing arm. So I'm gonna come up with how I'm gonna connect it on the rear right there and get it connected up. So I made this template for our shock mounts. We're going to be using 1/4 inch aluminum, and I'm going to box in the top. So this is the bottom of the mount, and this is going to hug around that piece of channel that's on the back, and then we can cap off the top and box it in. The factory ones was 1/8 inch thick, so this will double the strength of what it was factory, and the factory ones seem to be holding up well. It isn't like this is getting thrashed off-road. So we have 4 of them marked out on this piece of 1/4 inch. I'm gonna use my bandsaw. It doesn't, this particular blade doesn't like aluminum too well because it's made for steel, but we're gonna cut it anyway, so let's do it. So everything worked out really well. We used these 300cc shocks on the rear, and this is, when I say 300cc shocks, they come on the 300cc style go-karts. They're super beefy. You have to really put them close to the pivot point because they're so stiff, but this golf cart weighs so much, they end up being softer than I thought, which is really nice because I'm a big boy. You boys know it. And the guy that's getting this, he weighs probably 130 pounds. His wife, the same, and then their grandkids. So I like that it's pretty supple with my weight on the very back. But everything worked out really good. Did the steel tabs, of course, on the bottom, and did those aluminum box style up top. And I may do one of two things. I may put the bed back up there, or I may make a bed area just so it isn't this big stick out. But the thing looks sick though. Of course, I have the factory rear fenders we're going to trim up and put back on that swing arm to make it look as factory as possible. Then the plastic wall will be back in there, and the front, of course. And I just need to do a little bit more trimming on the front, and everything will fit. I'm going to wire up the bulk of the stuff in the front end. Like battery's going to be up there, gas tank will be under the rear seat. We're going to wire up a trickle charger because these V-twins don't have a huge charging system, and it has a factory plug on that side under the seat, and we're going to wire that in so it still works as a trickle charger. He can plug that up when he parks it in the barn and charges batteries up. The next episode on this, we will definitely be driving it, so stay tuned for that. We got to put a gas pedal in. We have to put the gas tank, the battery, do a little wiring. We're not going to wire everything right now. We're just going to get it where it'll start and shut off with a key, and do our first test drive. We're going to take it through the woods and stuff, see how it climbs hills, and really test that reverse gearbox. Note to self, don't forget to put diff oil in that differential. That would suck. But I really like how everything turned out. This thing is sick. I wish this was my golf cart because we just got a new project. We're not starting it right now, but we got a new vehicle. We're going to show you guys in a video coming up soon that if this was my golf cart, I'd be putting that engine on this. You guys will see it soon. So let me know what you think about this golf cart. I think it's absolutely sick. Wish it was mine. Too bad it isn't. This thing's going to be awesome, and I'm sure it's going to bring his family a lot of joy, and I can't wait to settle up on that debt with him. that is awesome, and I really like how everything's turning out. Make sure to check out the links for everything in the video description. Our HOM joints we get from QS Components. They've helped us out for years, and we was actually using them before they sponsored the channel. So massive shout out to QS Components, Go Power Sports, and Duromax for making this build possible, and I hope him and his family love it. We'll give you guys a reaction when he does receive it. So next episode, we're riding this thing. Guess top speed down below, what it's going to hit, and guess how it's going to perform. I'm really curious what you guys think and what you think of this actual build. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you guys, and we appreciate all the support. Remember, God loves you, and we do too. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.